In this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the iOS features that Apple borrowed from Android. It's no secret that Apple and Google have been copying each other's operating systems for years, and this has resulted in both iOS and Android advancing in similar but unique ways. The great thing about this is that as a customer, you get to choose between two distinct platforms with exclusive characteristics without missing out on essential features. 1. Home screen widgets. If you've recently bought a new iPhone, you may have noticed the neat widgets that you can now place on the home screen. However, these data snippets weren't available until iOS 14 launched in 2020, whereas Android phones have supported home screen widgets for over a decade. Although not the same, the widgets on iOS still feature a clean design and are available in 3 different sizes. However, they don't allow you to interact with them, and the data doesn't refresh continuously, making them unreliable for time-sensitive matters. 2. App Library. App Library are what Android users might know as the app drawer. Prior to iOS 14, iPhone users had no way to organize their apps beyond optional folders on the home screen. With iOS 14, iPhone users can now remove any or all apps from the home screen since they've been moved primarily to the app library. 3. Default apps. Just like home screen widgets, Android users could set default apps long before Apple users could. iPhones didn't gain support for default apps until iOS 14, and it's not even a complete implementation. You're limited to just default email and web browsing apps, making the feature pointless for those looking to set a default Maps app or media player. 4. Picture-in-Picture, PIP. Video playback was officially supported in Android Oreo back in 2017. Apple didn't copy this feature until iOS 14 launched in 2020, and third-party developers need to adopt its API in their apps for the feature to work. 5. Lock screen customizations in AMP. Always on display. iOS 16 introduced some major lock screen customizations, including the ability to change the typeface of the clock, insert widgets, and more. iPhone 14 Pro users can also enable and tweak the always-on display for the first time on an Apple phone. Both of these features have been available for years on Android phones and typically offer richer options on Google's OS. Overall, it's fascinating to see how Apple and Google inspire each other to create more functional and practical operating systems. We hope that this trend continues so that we can all benefit from the best features of both iOS and Android.